Hello, everyone. We are
P.O.C.
People of creativity.
Welcome to our first episode. For today's first guest, we have Yasmeen Jaaber. Yasmeen, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself as a creative?
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me on for the first episode. It's really exciting. Okay, I guess well, I'm Yasmeen. I'm 17 years old and I'm a senior in high school, and I guess I've called myself an activist in the past, but I'm kind of still figuring a lot of the stuff out. So I like to just kind of self-title myself as more of a writer, more of a public speaker.
What launched your journey in activism? Was it one thing that vexed you, or was it a series of events?
I guess, well, first of all, just like existing, just based off of like who I am, how I identify, and how I look. All of those things have always mattered, even when I wasn't politically or socially aware of why. It was always something that happened or something that I was super aware of. So I guess I didn't really understand the importance of like articulating that until 2016, when it seemed like it was worse. Like I was aware in different ways. I was aware in ways that like things I put up with all the time, just like Islamophobia, right, in middle school. And then 8th grade, I was like, wait, this isn't normal and this shouldn't happen and this is bad, what? And so realizing that was really important for me. And then going into high school, just being in a different space, a space that kind of prioritized community was really important. So I think what's been the most important part of the work that I've done is community and kind of connecting with people who are ready to fight for your liberation, and you want to fight for their liberation, and everyone just wants to give you freedom. Those spaces are really powerful and really important, especially when you live in Hick City, Virginia.
Okay, how do you think with the current climate and everything that's going on, how do you think that's changing for people who want to put out art or put out a piece of activism or start becoming more active in the community? How do you think that's all changing?
I think that people are definitely more inclined to do that, which is good, but there's definitely room for exploitation, even just looking at what has been happening with Breonna Taylor's name and people wanting to be like Instagram activists or whatever the heck, and like making like TikTok songs about like really important stuff. And that's when I think like the lack of community really comes in. If you're trying to enter into activism as a sole individual person, you're not going to get anything done. And that's not the point. The point is not to make yourself look good or feel better. It's to establish community and make real change. So I think the rampant education that's happening about like activism is really good, and organizing is really good. A lot of organizations have been seeing spikes in participation and membership because of the uprisings. But truthfully and honestly, lately, like this month in August, I've just seen just in organizations I'm a part of and organizations that I'm not a part of really struggling to get that energy back, which is upsetting because it seems like people only want to participate when like Black people are dying, which is really it just kind of sucks, you know?
when that one thing happens, it's always like one thing that like sparks the controversy, and then you have people out, you know, on the streets, we have them protesting, and like the energy is like always so up there, but then you give it like a month or two and then it just goes like right back to normal. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like us as activists, us as, you know, young people, you know, trying to make a change, we have to keep on having these conversations. We can't just like give up when like one little thing, tiny thing is given to us. Like, we have to keep on like going at it, or else nothing's gonna change. Because, sorry if I'm talking too much, but like,
No.
that's the thing. Like, people, they'll start protesting, and a lot of times the people who are in charge, like the big people who are up there, they're like, oh yeah, this is only gonna last for a little bit, you know, it'll fade out. We can't let it fade out, because that's
Becoming a cycle.
Yeah.
Becoming a cycle. Like, up here, nobody cares. Someone dies, nobody cares anymore. Can't let death be the spark of the conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's just Black Lives Matter, period. It's not a trend. It's not like you wear hats one day and then they go out of style. It's never going to go out of fashion because it's a life. So
Yeah.
it's important that we keep these conversations going in classrooms, in everywhere, because if you don't, nothing's going to change.
No, yeah, and like with you being really vocal and active about all of this, have you gotten any backlash from your peers or like at school with it being when we were at school at least?
Well, here's the thing. I've kind of already removed those people from my life. So, truthfully and honestly, people who would hold opinions like that, I don't really speak to or whatever. And I think had we been in school, it would have been a different story. It would have been a completely different story. Just thinking about the
I can only imagine.
the conversations that would have been had. I mean, there was like, just because like everyone's like trying to be really like I don't know, correct or whatever, there's definitely been some weird like Instagram trends. But you know, whatever, Instagram.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, other than that, let's maybe shift to a more lighthearted area. Do you have any inspirations with your work or with your activism? Who do you look up to?
I guess Audre Lorde for a long time. Really enjoy Audre Lorde. You know, she talks about, you know, stuff in the US, but she also talks about like global stuff and like the consequences of American imperialism, which not a lot of people get into. I enjoy the work of the Combahee River Collective, which is a Black feminist socialist collective named after Harriet Tubman's uprising. I don't know, like you kind of just have to look for stuff, and you kind of, yeah, that's really it. You kind of just have to look for stuff because you're not gonna find it from school education. I didn't even know who Audre Lorde was. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So yeah,
I've learned so much that like we don't learn in school, and I'm not to say I'm surprised, but I am a little shocked that all of this stuff wasn't put out there and then I had to dig for information. Do you have any advice for people who are younger or people who want to speak out but don't really know how to start doing that?
Yeah, okay. You kind of likely already have a platform, whether that's your Instagram, whether that's your Twitter, whether that's your TikTok. You likely already have a platform. A lot of people do if you're young and it's 2020. Or if you're not on the internet, the world is your platform. Go outside and grab the freaking megaphone. It's really scary to think about, you know, saying certain things. But I think that, you know, there's nothing negative that can come from the truth. If you're being truthful and you're being honest, then I think that's positive. And if you're not super into being like super vocal, you can make change in ways where you literally don't have to say anything. There's so many positions in local organizing that don't really require you to do that much work. You can just kind of show up. That's really important and really useful and really valuable. You can show up, you can boost. If you there's something you can bring to the cause. There's something you can bring to the cause if you care and, you know, if you're open to it. So.
And with you sharing your voice with the world and putting what you have to say out there, you're also an amazing writer. Yeah. And you are an amazing writer. But you are brilliant with words. And I just want to know, like, do you have any goals with your writing? Do you have any topics that you prefer to talk about? Any experiences that you want to put in your work? What do you favor in your art?
I've kind of always had this reluctancy to write about like political things or racially charged pieces. I've always like not wanted to do that because I felt like it was like so just corny. Like I felt like it was corny. Like I always felt like writing or like making art about like race stuff, social issues was like corny, and I don't know where I got that idea from. But yeah, that's what I always thought. And so I think now it's just really difficult for me to write creative pieces about that sort of thing. I've been trying to do that. I did that more this past year than I usually do, but it's just like hard. Like I don't know why. I think that maybe my brain has like two sides. There's like creative brain and then there's like political, social aware, and it's hard to get them to connect a little bit.
Well, this kind of feels like the end of the interview, and it went very smoothly too. This is nice. This is really nice.
Yes.
So nice.
Thank you so much. That was amazing, Yasmeen.
Thank you so much for joining us and agreeing to be our first interviewee on this. This is so exciting, and I'm really, really happy.
Me too. I definitely feel like your words, when it gets out there, it will inspire other people as well. And you know, we were talking about before about like how things are like dying down. I feel like by the time this goes up in like September, the noise will definitely be down, especially with people like, you know, getting distracted with like school and everything. Mm-hmm. So hopefully this will kind of like kick something in their heart.
Great conversation.
Yeah, hopefully school sparks some more conversations. So yeah.
Education and everything. Cool.
Thank you so much, and we will see everyone who's watching this next time.